Hi, and welcome back to Alex Talking. I love going to the movies, and today I just saw Weapons. And shoot, man, that was amazing. I am back from a trip to Texas in which I actually drove 17 hours straight from Arlington back here to Savannah, Georgia, because I wanted to be back with my fiance and my cat. I missed them too bad. I was car camping all the way out to Texas. It took me 3 days to get out there, and then I said, "Shoot, man, let's bust it straight home." So that was crazy, and I was tired. And I got back at 8:30 this morning, and kissed my fiance, gave her a hug, sent her to work, and went to bed. And then I woke up and I actually texted my boss that I could come into work, and she texted me back, "Oh, thank you, that's great. We'll get classes scheduled because I'm a swim teacher." And then was like, "No, actually, the pool shut down today. Just rest up." And I was like, "Well, shoot, I'm gonna go see Weapons at 2:17." And I love that the local movie theater was doing a 2:17 showing, because at 2:17 a.m., all the kids in Miss Grady's class got out of bed, ran into the street, and disappeared into the night, and nobody knows where they are. Is all I knew about this film going in. And I highly recommend, if you can, to do the same, because, well, that's how I experienced Barbarian, Zach Cregger's last film. And I personally love Barbarian as one of the best horror films of the 2010s. 2022 is like one of the best horror movie years ever, right there with 2018. And I think this year's creeping right on up. I mean, let's think about it here. We got Final Destination Bloodlines, Sinners, Presence, this film, Eddington, because I counted, The Monkey, Together, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Until Dawn. These are all movies I like. 28 years later, right above me. I mean, it's a great year for horror. And this is definitively one of the best of them. This is Horror Magnolia. And I think that that opening tagline and that pitch right there is all you need to know going in. I'm going to stay very vague, intentionally so, on details about this movie, because I've been running out of the trailer. I get up and run out of the theater for trailers for movies I'm already sold on, and that I know my experience could be hindered by seeing a trailer for it, and especially if I don't think it's going to play as much. But this trailer's been playing at every movie, so I've been having to run out of it all the time. And I tell you what, it was worth it, because I watched the trailer again afterwards, and while it's a very good trailer, it does just show too many images, because the images and the visuals in this movie were so striking to me personally. I first started doing that trailer trick with Michael Bay's Ambulance, but now I find I do it for most horror movies, because, like, starting with Halloween 2018 and stuff, I realized, oh, all the best moments are put in the trailers. That's when I was a real novice in horror movies, so I didn't really, watch them that much. But I realized very quickly, I'm like, oh, horror movies get ruined by the trailers a lot of the time. So if I know that I like the filmmaker, or if it has a great premise or a good series, I'll skip the trailer. I skipped the trailer for Together. I skipped the trailer for I Know What You Did Last Summer. So, I mean, 28 years later, I didn't. That had a great trailer. So sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. This one, I fully, because it opens with little girl narration, and that, like, is a little bell to tell me, run, get out of the theater. I fully avoided every second of every trailer for this movie. Once it would start, I'd get out of there. I knew nothing but that log line and that premise. I only knew one of the actors, one of the famous actors. I only knew Julia Garner was going to be in this. I did not know, and if you don't want to know the rest of the cast, click off the video. Did not know Brolin. Did not know Alden Ehrenreich. Did not know Benedict Wong. Of course, the GOAT, Justin Long. And all these amazing cast members. Had no idea they were going to show up. This movie had a very good cast. And I was just so impressed with the sure-handed direction of it. It is like a horror film, Ikiru or Magnolia, in that it's all these different stories, as well as all these different scenes being told multiple times from different perspectives, giving you a more clear understanding of interpersonal relationships, or why somebody's, and you can tell, like, there's a line about why is your hand like that, early on, and it's like,
oh, that's subtle. But then you settle into what the movie is, and it's like, oh, that's just the way it's written because it's going to tell a story that way. It felt a little weird at first, but I really settled into it and it worked for me completely. And I was bought in, and I know further rewatches will help solidify that. Um, I have borderline no issues with this film, other than, and once again, if you don't want spoilers at all, click off this video. I highly urge you don't have any spoilers, even though what I'm about to say isn't really a spoiler. There's just narration, the little girl narration from the trailer. I didn't like it. I didn't like it to start the movie, and I didn't like it to end the movie. And it's okay. I've heard some people say they don't like the ending. I thought the actual ending was great because, like, in how I engage in dialogue with these people, I understand they mean when all the points start coming together, and whenever it stops being told through different perspectives and just becomes this is the movie, this is the end, this is what it's been building towards. Sit with it, take it to the moon. I loved every second of that, to be 100% honest. I thought that it had the best kill of the year. This movie ends with the best kill of the year. I thought the villain was great. I did not need any more sort of explanation. Sometimes movies don't fully flesh themselves out. Something like Bring Her Back from earlier this year, for example, is a solid movie that cheapens itself by withholding information, but not actually telling a story that's worthy of withholding that information and interesting enough on its own. But this film is interesting enough on its own and fully captivates you as an audience throughout the entire thing. And it earns telling the story it does, and I don't feel like anything is missing at the end. I don't feel like anything was missing. It was just I would take out the narration. Otherwise, I genuinely had like almost no issues with this movie. I thought the acting was great. The story was really well written. This is right there with Sinners as probably my favorite script of the year. So yeah, I have to really, really heartily recommend going in as blind as you can and going and supporting Weapons. This is as good as original horror gets, and while it's not as good as Sinners, which just debunks the statement I just said, I was just thinking, I was like, as an actual horror film telling an original story without any preconceived notions, or you don't need to have any sort of context going into it, and it doesn't rehash old tropes or old motivations, or, for example, Longlegs. This pretty much gave me exactly Longlegs in terms of uniqueness, originality, and craft. And I love Longlegs, don't get me wrong, but these are both 4.5 out of 5-star movies. This one's a 4.5 because of the narration thing. Longlegs is a 4.5 because, as unique as it just turns into Satanism, and that is like way more than this movie's ending, as some people say. That left me disappointed with Longlegs. Not that it ruined the movie. It's a 4.5 out of 5. It's just, wow, this was such an original, unique horror movie. Why'd we take it to rehashed ideas and themes and not done in a super interesting way, in my opinion. All the original stuff in Longlegs was so much more interesting than making it go that route. This movie doesn't do that. So I really appreciated that it just was so sure in its, story and world and everything it was doing. I thought that was great. So that is what I thought of Weapons. Let me know what you thought. I hope you go see it, and I hope you love it. And I am going to be filming a movie this weekend. My fiance is a cinematographer for a film, and I'll be acting in it for her. And I don't know when I'll see Freakier Friday, but I hope to sometime soon. And I hope you enjoy that. And let me know what you think of that if you saw it as well. Thank you for watching. God bless, and have a great day.